You didn't make a sound. You were sitting on the bathroom floor, or curled on your side in bed, or hunched over the kitchen table with your face in your hands. Maybe you were trying not to cry. Maybe you had already stopped trying. Maybe it was 2 a.m. and the house was completely silent, and you were as alone as you have ever felt in your entire life. And then they appeared. They didn't knock. They didn't ask. They just came. Through the door, around the corner, across the room. However far they had to go, they came, and they didn't bark. They didn't jump. They just pressed their body against yours, or laid their head in your lap, or sat so close that you could feel them breathing. And something shifted. Something that had been unbearable became, for just a moment, slightly less so. You probably told yourself it was a coincidence, that they just happened to walk in, that they were hungry or restless or heard a noise. Because the alternative, that this animal, this creature who cannot speak your language, who has never read a book or watched a movie or been told what grief looks like, actually knew, actually felt it, actually came because of you. That alternative felt too big to hold, but it wasn't a coincidence. And what I'm about to tell you about what happened inside your dog's brain in that moment, the cascade of perception, chemistry, and something that science is only beginning to find words for, is going to change the way you understand every quiet moment you have ever shared with your dog. And probably some that haven't happened yet. Stay with me. Part 1. The detection. How your dog knew before you said a word. Let's start at the beginning, the moment before they came to you. The moment when, across the house, behind a closed door, in complete silence, your dog knew. How is that possible? The answer begins with the nose, but it goes so much deeper than smell. A dog's olfactory system contains approximately 300 million scent receptors. Humans have around 6 million, but the number alone doesn't capture the difference, because it's not just the quantity of receptors that separates their perception from ours. It's what those receptors are connected to. In a dog, the olfactory bulb, the brain structure that processes scent, accounts for roughly 40 times more of the brain's total volume proportionally than it does in a human. Scent is not a minor sense for a dog. Scent is their primary reality. It is how they read the world, the way you read words on a page. And here's the part that changes everything. Your emotional state has a chemical signature. When you cry, when you move into grief or fear or profound sadness, your body undergoes a cascade of physiological changes that are completely invisible to human perception, but are written in enormous, unmistakable letters in the chemical language your dog reads fluently. Your cortisol levels rise, your adrenaline shifts, the composition of your sweat changes, the volatile organic compounds released through your skin and breath alter in specific, measurable ways that correspond to specific emotional states. Your tears themselves carry a biochemical signature. A 2021 study, published in the journal Science, found that human emotional tears contain chemical signals that directly alter the behavior of those who detect them, reducing aggression, triggering protective responses, changing the emotional state of the receiver. And while that study focused on human-to-human transmission, the researchers noted that the chemical signaling mechanisms involved are evolutionarily ancient, present across mammalian species. Your dog is not smelling your sadness the way you might describe a perfume. Your dog is reading a precise biochemical report that says, "This member of my group is in distress." This is not metaphor. This is chemistry. And your dog's brain receives that report before you have made a single sound, before you have changed your posture, before any visual or auditory cue has crossed the distance between you. They knew because your body told them, in a language older than words, in a language they never had to learn because they were born already fluent. Part 2. The journey across the house. What happens in the brain? Now your dog knows. The signal has been received, processed, and identified. And something happens next that science has spent decades trying to fully understand and is only now beginning to describe with the precision it deserves. Your dog gets up and comes to you. That sounds simple. It is not simple. What is happening in the neural architecture of your dog's brain in that moment is one of the most remarkable things that occurs in any non-human animal. In 2018, researchers at Goldsmiths University of London published a landmark study in the journal Learning and Behavior. They exposed dogs to 4 conditions: their owner crying, their owner humming, a stranger crying, and a stranger humming. They measured what the dogs did, and what they found was extraordinary. Dogs were significantly more likely to cross the room and make physical contact with a crying person, owner or stranger, than with a person who was humming. The crying itself triggered the response, not the person, the emotional state. But here is what made the study remarkable beyond the behavior itself. The researchers measured the dog's own stress hormones during the encounter, and the dogs who approached the crying person showed elevated cortisol, elevated stress markers, not because they were afraid, but because they were distressed by the distress of another. This is called empathic concern. It is not the same as sympathy, which is feeling sorry for someone from a distance. It is not the same as simple learned association, where a dog has been trained to respond to a cue. Empathic concern is the experience of being emotionally affected by the emotional state of another, of carrying some portion of their pain in your own nervous system. It is what a mother feels when her child cries. It is what you feel when someone you love is suffering and there is nothing you can do. Your dog felt that for you, in their body, in their chemistry, in their actual, measurable, physiological stress response. And then they got up and crossed the room anyway. Think about what that means. Your dog knew it would be uncomfortable. Their own body was already registering distress, and they came to you anyway, not because they were trained to, not because they expected a reward, but because leaving you alone in that state was, to them, simply not something they were capable of doing. If that doesn't break something open in you, I don't know what will. Part 3. The touch. What happens when they press against you? They reach you, and they do the thing. The press, the weight, the warmth of a body that has chosen yours as the right place to be. What happens in that moment, in both bodies simultaneously, is one of the most beautiful pieces of biology I have ever encountered. Physical contact between a bonded dog and their person triggers the release of oxytocin in both of them. Not in the dog alone, not in the person alone, in both, simultaneously, the same neurochemical, sometimes called the bonding hormone, the love hormone, the trust molecule, that fires between a mother and her newborn during their first skin-to-skin contact. The same chemical that underlies the deepest human social bonds, released in both species at the same moment, through the same physical act of simply being close enough to touch. A 2015 study published in the journal Science measured oxytocin levels in dogs and their owners before and after mutual gazing and physical contact. The findings were so significant that the lead researcher, Dr. Takafumi Kikusui of Azabu University in Japan, described the result as evidence of an interspecies oxytocin loop, a feedback system where the release in one triggers the release in the other, which reinforces the bond, which deepens the contact, which releases more oxytocin, which deepens the bond further. You and your dog are running the same biochemical bonding software that human mothers and their infants run, the same ancient code, written in the same chemical language, executing in two completely different species who found each other across 15,000 years of shared evolution and somehow learned to mean something to each other. When your dog pressed against you on the bathroom floor, they were not just offering comfort in the way a blanket offers warmth. They were initiating a biological process designed at the deepest level of mammalian evolution to reduce pain, restore regulation, and signal. You are not alone. You are seen. You are part of something that will not leave. Your nervous system received that signal. Whether you felt it consciously or not, your body heard it. Your cortisol began to drop. Your heart rate began to slow. Your breathing, without you deciding to change it, began to deepen. Not because you decided to feel better, because your dog's presence triggered a cascade that your body recognized as safe. You didn't imagine it. The relief you felt was real. It was chemistry. It was biology. It was 15,000 years of a relationship so deep that it rewired both species at the cellular level. Part 4. The different dialects. What your dog's response is telling you. Here is something that most people don't know, and that I think is one of the most important ideas in this entire video. Not every dog responds to human distress the same way, and the way your dog specifically responds to you when you cry is not random. It is a portrait of their individual emotional architecture, their personality, their history, their attachment style, and the specific nature of the bond between you. Some dogs lick your face. This is the oldest behavior in the canine emotional repertoire. It begins in the first hours of a puppy's life. The mother licking the newborn to stimulate breathing, to clean it, to communicate safety. The association formed in those first moments. Licking equals the safest, most loved state of existence is so deep and so early that it never fully leaves. When your dog licks your face when you cry, they are accessing that foundational memory. They are doing for you what was done for them in their most vulnerable moment. It is the oldest form of care they know. Some dogs bring you things, a toy, a sock, whatever is nearest. This behavior looks almost comical. Your dog arrives at your worst moment carrying a squeaky hedgehog, but it is one of the most earnest responses in their emotional vocabulary. Bringing resources is a crisis response. In a pack context, bringing food or objects to a distressed member is a gesture of support, of contribution, of "I don't know how to fix this, but I am giving you everything I have." Your dog cannot fix what is making you cry, but they can bring you the hedgehog, and so they do. Some dogs simply press their body against you and go completely still. No licking, no toys, no movement, just weight and warmth and breath. This response, sometimes called body blocking or pressure seeking, is in many ways the most sophisticated of all. It requires the dog to override their own impulse to act, to move, to do something, and instead to simply be present, to offer stillness as the gift. Research on animal-assisted therapy has found that this kind of sustained physical contact, the weight of a dog's body against a human in distress, produces measurable reductions in cortisol and blood pressure within minutes. Your dog discovered this before science did. Some dogs make eye contact and hold it. Soft, sustained, unblinking. Not the hard stare of challenge, but the open gaze of presence. This is the behavior that has most fascinated researchers, because the mutual gaze between a dog and their person produces the largest oxytocin spike of any interaction between the two species. More than petting, more than play, more than physical contact. The eyes. When your dog looks at you while you cry, really looks at you, with that expression that feels almost unbearably human. The chemistry happening between you is the closest thing to love that biology knows how to measure. And some dogs do all of these things, cycling through their entire emotional toolkit, trying everything, refusing to give up, because giving up, leaving you in that state, is simply not within them. Your dog is not doing the same thing as every other dog. They are doing their version. The version shaped by who they are and who you are to them. And if you pay attention, if you watch carefully the next time you are struggling and your dog comes to you, you will see not just a dog responding to distress. You will see a relationship, specific, irreplaceable, and completely your own. Part 5. The history. How 15,000 years made this possible. To fully understand what your dog does when you cry, you have to understand how we got here. Because this didn't happen by accident. This is the product of the longest, strangest, most unlikely collaboration in the history of life on Earth. Approximately 15,000 years ago. Though some genetic evidence pushes the timeline earlier. The ancestors of modern dogs began a process of self-domestication. They started living near human settlements, eating our scraps, following our movements. And in doing so, they entered into a feedback loop that would transform both species over millennia. The wolves who could tolerate human proximity survived. The ones who could read human faces, respond to human gestures, follow human gaze, they thrived. Their offspring inherited those abilities and refined them. Generation after generation, over thousands of years, the animals who were most attuned to human emotional states were the ones most likely to be fed, sheltered, kept close, and allowed to reproduce. We did not breed dogs to be emotionally intelligent. They became emotionally intelligent because emotional intelligence was what allowed them to survive near us. The ability to detect human distress, respond to human grief, regulate their own behavior in response to human emotional states. These are not tricks we taught them. These are survival strategies that we selected for, unconsciously, over 15,000 years of shared living. Your dog is the product of every human who ever found comfort in an animal. Every grieving person who was found by a dog in a dark moment. Every bond that made both lives slightly more bearable. The emotional attunement you experience with your dog is not a happy accident of pet ownership. It is the inheritance of every human-dog pair who came before you, whose connection was strong enough to survive and pass something forward. When your dog comes to you when you cry, they are not doing something new. They are doing something ancient. They are performing the act that defined their species, the act of choosing to be close to a human in pain when every other option was available to them. They chose you. Every generation chose us. And somewhere in the deep biology of that choice, something extraordinary happened. Something that looks, from the outside, startlingly like love. Part 6, what you owe them. The part nobody talks about. We are almost at the end, but before we get there, I need to say something that I think is the most important thing in this entire video. Your dog feels your pain. We established that. The science is clear. The empathic concern is real. The physiological stress response they carry when you are distressed is measurable and documented. Which means this: your dog has been carrying your bad days. Every time you came home overwhelmed, and they felt it in the air before you spoke. Every argument they sat through, feeling the tension as a physical thing, not understanding the words, but understanding everything about the emotional register. Every night you cried, and they pressed against you. their own cortisol rising to meet yours. Every period of your life when you were struggling, anxious, grieving, lost, afraid, your dog felt some version of that in their body, in their nervous system, quietly, without complaint, without asking for anything in return. They cannot tell you that it affects them. They cannot say, "I had a hard week too." They cannot explain that the chronic stress of a turbulent household raises their baseline cortisol in ways that affect their immune system, their digestion, their sleep, their behavior. They cannot advocate for themselves. They can only be present and feel and carry what they carry. So here's what you owe them. Not as a transaction, not as a debt, but as the natural response of someone who has just understood something true about a relationship they are in. You owe them the same quality of presence they give you. Not perfection, not immunity to bad days or grief or struggle, but the attempt, the genuine, consistent attempt, to also notice when they are struggling, to read their signals the way they read yours, to come to them when they need something the way they come to you, to understand that the relationship is not one of service and receiver, of emotional caretaker and emotional dependent. It is a bond, and bonds run in both directions. Your dog has been paying attention to you every single day. The question is whether you have been paying attention back. What they came to tell you. I want to take you back to where we started. The bathroom floor, the bed at 2 a.m, the kitchen table with your face in your hands. They appeared, and now you know what happened in the moments before they did. The chemical signal your body sent without you knowing. The neural cascade in their brain as they detected it. The stress response their own body launched as they registered yours. The decision, if we can call it that, if the word decision can stretch to cover something so instinctive and so deep, to come to you anyway. And you know what happened when they arrived. The oxytocin loop initiating in both bodies, the cortisol beginning to fall, the ancient software of mammalian bonding executing exactly as it was designed to, in two species who were never supposed to be this close and somehow became essential to each other. You know what the lick meant, what the toy meant, what the stillness meant, what the gaze meant. You know that none of it was coincidence. And you know, perhaps for the first time with the full weight of evidence behind it, that what your dog feels for you is not a simple thing. It is not unconditional in the way people use that word as though it costs nothing. It costs them something. It costs them their own peace, their own stress response, their own nervous system resources to feel what you feel and come to you anyway. That is not a small thing. That is one of the largest things one creature can offer another. The next time they come to you in a dark moment, let them. Let the contact happen. Let the oxytocin loop run. Let the biology do what 15,000 years of evolution designed it to do. And then, sometime when you are not in crisis, on a quiet afternoon in a patch of sunlight, when there is nothing urgent and nowhere to be, look at them, really look, with the same quality of attention they have always given you. See what you find there. I think you already know. If this reached you today, share it with one person who needed to hear it. Subscribe to Canine Clues and leave a comment telling us about the moment your dog came to you when you needed them most. We read every single one, and we'll see you in the next video.